Congratulations. How excited is it to get to work for NatGeo?
It's all pretty surreal. If I could tell my 10-year-old self that one day I'd be working for National Geographic and have my own show on Disney Plus, I'm not sure I'd believe me. I feel very, very lucky to get to spend the time with amazing people, amazing teams, working on such a cool project.
How were you first introduced as a kid?
I like everyone, I guess, I grew up watching nature documentaries, and I remember, my family were all obsessed with water sports. So since I was really, really young, I got 3 brothers, my mum and dad, they'd always encouraged me to be in the sea. And I think when you spend that amount of time outside in nature, you gain an appreciation for it. And I remember growing up, seeing the wildlife near to where I lived. It was in the UK, not particularly exotic animals, but I used to sneak up on badgers and foxes and deer and things and get a real buzz out of doing that. And was watching nature documentaries growing up and thought, wow, that would be pretty cool to do as a job one day. And that's, I guess, how it all started.
For epic adventures, which episode was more challenging or maybe your favorite?
I think both my favorite and the most challenging episode has to be the Antarctica episode, so tracking ocean giants. That was definitely our most ambitious episode. So we spent a month on a 75-foot ice-strengthened sailboat. We crossed the infamous Drake Passage, which is the stretch of water between South America and Antarctica. It's pretty rough. It was a bit scary at times. The thing we were going for, these kind of mythical whale gatherings, involved going right at the end of the Antarctic season, which is when the weather gets even worse than it is normal. So in that month-long period on the boat, we had 6 days when the weather was calm enough to look for the whales. And when I say calm, it was still pretty hairy. And so going through all of that and thinking that we were going to fail over and over again, right at the end, for everything to come together to see 300 whales, which was the biggest gathering of fin whales ever recorded, seeing them in this massive feeding party with thousands of penguins and seals and albatross all in front of big snowy mountains. That was, without a doubt, the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And I hope one day I see something more beautiful, more epic than that, but I'd be surprised.
The one fascinating thing, and you're teaching us, I'm learning, that you use the food chain to accomplish your missions.
Well, I think critical to filming any wild event is to use the environment, and whenever we're going around, we're looking for clues that the animals or the physical environment can give us to lead us to our goal. So in the case of the open ocean, we were filming for the dolphin episode in 50-60 miles off the coast of Costa Rica. It's just blue as far as you can see, and I guess when you first get there, you go, there is literally nothing here. It is totally empty, but the amazing guides that we were working with were like, no, you need to start looking for the clues. You look at the current lines, that might lead you to what you're looking for, but generally birds are your friend. So we spent all day, every day, with binoculars, looking at the horizon, looking for birds. And if you spot birds, they're usually a good indication of what's under the water. And I remember one day we saw a group of birds. We went towards them. I got my dive gear on, jumped in the water, and immediately was just in front of me was just a wall of 500 yellowfin tuna, some of them bigger than me, all going at 50 miles an hour into a ball of prey fish. There was like 100 spotted dolphin.
He used you as a shield.
Right, that was a little unexpected. The mackerel, the prey fish, they're about this long, were like in the mayhem, I guess we're like, well, we're gonna use him as a last ditch, desperate attempt to survive, and they were trying to get my swim shorts and all sorts. It was quite uncomfortable.
So that was actually one of my favorites, but I'm also torn between the Battle of the Beasts.
Yeah, that's a good one. The Battle of the Beasts, that ancient battle between lions and what has got to be the toughest prey animal in Africa to hunt, the buffalo. I don't know about you, but I'm not sure I'd want to take on a 1,500-pound armored, giant horns, angry buffalo. And there's not just one of them. They're in big herds. I think Yeah, I think it was great to film the lions struggling, because I think people think of lions as just, going around eating everything, being the kings and queens of the African plains. But yeah, they've got it tough.
Yeah, definitely. That's a concept that you did change. I had a blast watching these episodes, but also because of your energy. I feel like anyone that watches that might be feeling a little low, you change everything. You're just like, oh yeah, go get her. If he can do that with the wildlife, I can do this in life.
Awesome. Well, that's very kind. I think smiling is contagious, right? So yeah, you've got to put on a smile, and yeah, you can feed off each other's energy. And I'm really lucky on this project that, my name's in the title. I get way too much credit for it. There's a massive team. So we work with big teams in the field, on the expeditions. And then also there's a big team back in Bristol where I work with a production company called Wildstar Films. And yeah, it's a massive team effort to get all the logistics and the supplies and the guides and the cameras all in the right place, so that then when everything comes together, we can do our thing.
Like you say, it has your name on it. So how much input was there besides the one we see on camera?
Lots. So yeah, I pick the locations to where we go. Work with the team at home to assemble the field team, because we're going away for long periods of time and we're living on top of each other, on little sailboats. You want to work with people that you like. So I'm very lucky that get to build these great teams, and that's how you win when you're filming wildlife, is working with great people. And then I'm really passionate about making sure that the story is saying all the right things, because I'm in the edit saying, always pushing to have more of an environmental message in these films, because I want to get people excited about the natural world, but we also want to show the realities. All too often in nature documentaries, we brush over the fact that the natural world is in big trouble. And I think it's really important to talk about that, and also talk about and show that there's good news. It's not all doom and gloom. Wildlife, we saw time and time again on this series, can come back if we give it the chance. And so I hope that people can get excited about the things that we've filmed, but also apply that to where they live. What can we all do to give wildlife the chance to bounce back? Because that's not just good news for wildlife, it's good news for us people too.
You include that in the credits for some of the episodes, right?
That's a really lovely bit that we've got running in the credits. We do a little update for what's going on, what's happened since we finished filming.
How do you feel when you find out about those changes? That you're talking about them, you're bringing it out to the world. Yeah, I mean, one of it was sad and also really happy, was at the end of the lion episode. So in the lion episode, we helped collar that lion. I say I helped. I watched the Zambian carnivore program Collar the Lion, and they asked me to hold up its head while they put the collar around. And I knew lions were big, but I didn't really know how big until I was holding this thing's head. So they put the collars on so that they can keep track of the movements of the lions. And after we finished filming, a member of that pride got caught in a wire snare, which was left by poachers. They weren't actually trying to kill the lions. They were going for the herbivores, so the things that the lions eat. And this lion was going to die. And because of that collar that we filmed the Zambian carnivore program putting on, they were able to find that pride, dart the lion, tranquilize it, cut that metal snare off, treat its wounds, and it survived. And without that collar, it would have died. And so not only are you saving that lion's life, you're saving all the cubs that lion goes on to produce. There are only 20,000 lions left in Africa. They're in big trouble, and so every lion counts. Which continent is the one you're more curious about and wanting to explore? That's a tough question. I think it's got to be Antarctica. Just the scale of that place, and it's so otherworldly and so beautiful, and it's got loads of penguins in, and who doesn't like penguins? It would definitely be Antarctica. Yeah, but I was disappointed to know that it was smelly. Yeah. If you go downwind of a penguin colony, it's real stinky. Well, look forward to seeing more of that, and congratulations. Thank you very much. Good to chat.